So everybody wants to know, how can I make money in a bear market? First of all, what is a bear market? I would say when the stock market's down 20% and we've got 2 negative quarters of GDP, we've got inflation coming in at 9.1%, the highest in 41 years. On top of that, the Fed is raising rates 75 basis points per month, and they're talking about 100 basis points next month. So what's the number one thing you can do in a bear market to make money? One, cash is trash, right? It's this least smelly piece of trash in a bear market though, and it puts you in a position of power and strength if you can buy once the market capitulates. Now, if you can afford to put a little more risk on, right, what you can do is short the market, get short, put your shorts on, right, and then you can make money all the way down and then buy the market lows and get ready to make money all the way to the upside. That's what we're coaching our clients to do. That's what we do at Bitcoin Advisors. You won't get that advice anywhere else. By the way, we are not a financial advisor. We are Bitcoin Advisors. And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. It is another scorcher out there, and boy, we got a lot to talk about this week. It is Monday. And yes, it is a new week of opportunity with a lot of things going on, including a 75 basis point rate hike. So they say. We've got the China lockdown starting up again. We've got earnings reports coming out from companies like Alphabet, Google. Alphabet is Google, GE, Coca-Cola, UBS. All those earnings reports are coming out. And we've got some crypto news. So not only are we going to talk about Bitcoin's price action in the short term and the long term, we're going to talk about some crypto news and some news in general, which I found this pretty entertaining here today. The White House wants to redefine a, quote, recession ahead of a possibly disastrous GDP report. The Biden administration preemptively downplayed concerns about the state of the economy ahead of the second quarter GDP growth data in a press release set for Thursday. According to some, sought to redefine what constitutes a recession. Economic commentators frequently use 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth as a rule of thumb that the economy is in a recession. While the economy shrank 1.4% in the first quarter, President Biden's economic team argued in a blog post that even if the second quarter GDP growth is also negative, it is still unlikely that it would indicate the economy is in a recession. What do you guys think of that? I saw gasoline this week at $6 a gallon. Thank God I don't have a gasoline car. I've got a Tesla. One of the better choices of my vehicles. And here's what Google defines how they define a recession. The phenomenon as, quote, a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. Dating back to the end of World War II, a recession has been declared every single time the economy experiences negative growth for 2 consecutive quarters. And I've been saying this all year long. We're already in a recession. The government just doesn't want you to know it yet. And we're going to get into Bitcoin's price action here in a moment. We're going to take a look at Ethereum. So don't tune out yet. But I just thought that was funny. Old Biden's probably saying, oh, look, we're not in a recession. Gas is down 20 cents. It's just hilarious. But here's the next piece of news. Big news on XRP. The judge is losing patience in a Ripple and XRP lawsuit as the SEC changes its story too many times. So a crypto legal expert says the judge in the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission case against Ripple Labs is losing patience. In a new video update, attorney Jeremy Hogan, who's been closely following the case, says that the judge, Sarah Netburn, is getting tired of the SEC continually filing objections to her order of producing specific documents. And here's what I thought was the most interesting. Quote, Hogan is quoting a statement of Judge Netburn, reprimanding the SEC for altering its story. Quote, I hate to interrupt you, but you just said something different to me. You said that the was given by Director Hinman in his capacity as Director of Corporate Finance. That seems different to me than what you said a year ago. Am I misremembering? Because when we were in discussion whether he should be deposed, as I recall, there was an argument from the SEC that what he said really had no bearing on this litigation because he wasn't speaking on behalf of that division, that he was just speaking at a personal event, and there was a lot of attention focused on disclaimers, but you just said now that he was speaking as director on behalf of that division. Quote, the SEC, quote, the hypocrisy in arguing to the court on the hand that the speech is not relevant to the market's understanding of how or whether the SEC will regulate cryptocurrency, and on the other hand, that Hinman sought and obtained legal advice from the SEC counsel when drafting the speech suggests that the SEC is adopting its litigation positions to further its desired goal and not out of faithful allegiance to the law. No joke. SEC is not faithful to the law. They're just trying to win their own slumlord battles. It's just hypocrisy, if you ask me. What else on the XRP front for all you XRP Army enlisters out there? Just in, XRP supports FIFA host as CEO bets win against the SEC. Okay, so Ripple getting in on the FIFA World Cup. Ripple partners Qatar National Bank has signed a remittance service deal with China's bank, allowing direct money transfers from Qatar to the Philippines. QNB, an official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup in 2022. Will the RippleNet cross-border payment settlement solution to ensure safe and smooth remittance transfers. Navin Gupta, Ripple's managing director for South Asia and MENA, tweeted it as a proud moment to connect its biggest partner in MENA, QNB, with China Bank and support the FIFA World Cup 2022 host Qatar. So what is the quote? QNB is our biggest partner in the MENA region, and we are delighted to continuously strengthen the partnership on RippleNet to additional countries. The Philippines is one of the largest remittance receivers globally, and we are pleased to be connecting QNB with China Bank to process remittance payments from Qatar to Philippines via RippleNet. So it looks like some banks are using, apparently Bank of China, I don't know how much I trust those guys, are using Ripple payments with the Philippines. And Brad Garlinghouse is claiming a win against the SEC. I do hope they win. I'm not in the Ripple army. I'm not in the XRP army. However, I would love to see a crypto company win in court against the SEC. That would be delightful. What else? Cointelegraph reports the University of Tokyo to offer courses in the metaverse. The project has been launched to address the lack of skilled personnel working on rapidly evolving technologies in Japan. The University of Tokyo, also known as Todai, set to offer a range of study programs later this year that will take place in the metaverse, according to a Saturday report from the local news. The courses will be offered to students ranging from high school to adult learners in the workforce. University officials also emphasized that studying the metaverse will also create a situation in which anyone, regardless of age, gender, social standing, and area of residence, can learn about engineering and information science. Crypto and NFTs weren't mentioned specifically, but considering the sector is often associated with the metaverse and boasts a number of popular metaverse brands, there is likely to be some mention of blockchain-based platforms. All right. That's it for the news today. And what do I want to do on Bitcoin's price action? Let's take a look on the daily. What do we have here? What do we have on the daily? And what else is going on? China lockdowns. Russia violated a major agreement within 24 hours of signing it. It's pretty much the same old Russia. And it's like people forgot about the war almost. Nobody's even talking about it. Wow. So what do we have here on Bitcoin's price action? I'll just make the screen a little bigger so you guys can all see this nice and clear on the daily time frame. And and again, just a few other major catalysts that are happening this week. Okay, we got the FOMC meeting tomorrow. They're going to talk about raising the 75 basis point rate hike. Maybe we'll get 100, maybe we'll get 75. I don't believe that'll go in effect till Wednesday. And then GDP numbers, again, why is Biden all of a sudden changing what a recession is? They know those GDP numbers are going to be horrible. Probably just like inflation coming out worse than expected. I'd expect GDP to come out worse than expected. How do they expect us to grow the economy with all the shutdowns and the face masks and all the garbage they just put us through? So, back into Bitcoin's price action. Let's jump into it. Let's recap kind of what we spoke about last week. And so, Bitcoin did break the range here. And if we do a fib retracement, you guys are going to love this. But from the high to the low, from the wick high to the wick low, off of this consolidation, that was the range here, 22,000 to the upside and about 19,000 to the downside. And we hit the 1618 fib exactly, getting rejected at the green 55. And what has this produced? We got 3 drives of, or what was that based off of, that target of the green 55? We had 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence. And what is hidden bullish divergence, huh? That is when price is making lower lows and the RSI is making higher lows. So as you can see, we got 1, 2, 3 lower lows, and that is in line with 1, 2, 3 higher lows, excuse me, from this point right here. Right here. Higher lows in RSI. 1, 2, 3, boom. Gets you that shot to the green 55, the 1618. And then what did we say on Friday last week? That we were likely to come back down and test the support, which we've done that literally to the T. So the big question here is, what is going to happen next? And for that, I'm going to say, let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. And we've kind of already broken the range to the downside, but we've got 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence. And I would suspect, again, what is bearish divergence? When price is making higher highs and RSI is making lower highs. And you can see that from this point right here. 1, 2, 3 higher highs, and then vice versa for the RSI. Oh, it won't drag down there, so let's delete that. For the RSI here, we've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, excuse me, that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bearish divergence on the 4-hour, and that should give us a shot to the bottom side of the range, which we already got that. And that would have been confirmed over the weekend right here as we took out this lower low. And almost a shot down at the bottom side of the range. Do I think there's more to go on this move lower? Probably. And that would be based off the daily. And I would say this. So, yeah, we said basically, if we break down back below this guy, which we kind of did right there, that was the breakout level. We're breaking back into the range. So what happens? This is support, this is resistance. And what happens is you come back down and you can test support. Looks like we just broke through it. But if we break back below here, any kind of a 4-hour closure, really, to be more conservative, I'd say something like this. And I do believe price will come down there. But any kind of a 4-hour back below 20,780, and I'm going to call this a failed rally. And very, very likely we're going to come back down and test the fib, which is also known as the, let's do a bearish retracement. So bearish retracement is from the high to the low. And very likely we come back down to this guy at about 20,800. And any kind of a daily closure below the 0.5, especially below this guy right here, the 38.2. Well, below the 236, very likely gets you that move down to the 0.5. We already got that, but below the 0.5, we're going to the 618. And very likely that's where we're going. The 786. We already broke this guy on the 4-hour. The 786 is now in play, and that's more clearly seen on the 4-hour time frame by going from this low to that high. And I will show you that right here. Oh, also, we were calling out this ascending triangle, and I just want to show you guys, look how this beautifully hit. Not exactly to a T here. Maybe we should have measured it right there. Yeah, close enough is close enough. And again, rallies are going to be weaker in a down market. The downwards moves in a downtrend are going to be bigger. And that's why I think there is quite a good chance for a little more downside pressure off of this move. Also, becoming of another 70. I mean, how do they think the economy's going to handle this? And look, Walmart just cut their profit outlook for the second quarter of 2023. And those earnings from the banks have been coming down. You got the war, you got inflation, 75% basis point rate hikes. They're talking about maybe a possible 100% rate hike or 100 basis point rate hike. So, yeah, I mean, not looking pretty, not looking pretty. However, the 4-hour is going to play out some bullish divergence on the other side. And basically, this is the line in the sand here, even on a 4-hour time frame. If we can't get back above 23,000, that's not going to look good. That is just going to be another lower high right here. And how do we use those fibs again? From the high to the low, the 618 coming in. You know, a weak bounce will come up to the 382. A strong bounce up to the 618, the bull trap area. So very likely we could pop back up there, reject, and then come back down. And where would the target for the downside move be? If it hasn't already been hit, doesn't look like it's been hit yet for Bitcoin. And I am looking for this target to get hit at 21.3 at a minimum. And then if you see this silver cross play out to the downside, the yellow 21 crossing the green 55, that will be an early indicator that this is absolutely a failed rally. Failed rally. Okay, what else do we got here? I'm going to get in here. Oh, 18 minutes already into this video. So let's talk about the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. I think if you look at the daily time frame, we are crossing down from a very high level, rejecting the bearish or the bullish control zone. And we're absolutely getting kicked out there. We might get launched out of the bearish control zone. Stokes will cross up any kind of a closure above 21,845, and that is a long ways away. We got a lot of time left. What about the hourly? Hourly is giving off a perfect sell signal as we get the death cross, the big death cross. I'm talking about the green 55 and the purple 200. And that is what you want to see exactly, is a test of the cross and then a rejection. And where does that rejection put us? Well, I do think, the bounce could go a little bit higher, and it's okay to get above there. The point is you want price action sucked into that death cross and then spit back out, as we saw here, here. Anyways, let's get on to what else do I want to talk about here? Our momentum indicator. Let's take a look at the 2-day and the 3-day and the 5-day. Okay, 2-day Stokes are crossing in 3 hours and 11 minutes. They will cross down with any kind of a closure below 22,024. We're not quite there yet, but we got another 3 hours left. What does the 3 hours say? Getting the silver cross to the downside. Perfect test. I like it for another downside leg, a little bit more down. And so here's what I would say again. Failure to get back above this guy, right? We made the first higher high. What we want to see if we're going to get bullish is some kind of a higher low. I mean, maybe as low as the 786. I've seen it come down that low, but some kind of a higher low right around here, actually, in fact. So that's typically what you want to see, is that higher low to come, and then we get a higher high. That would look nice, and that's kind of the last chance for love. The last chance. What else here? We got a trend line coming in on the daily stochastics from this guy right here. And I do believe if we do cross below that trend line and we start to see volatility start to expand, which, by the way, if you want to set up TradingView, you can go to a link in the description below, set up a free TradingView account, and start to track these assets with us. It's real simple, and it's free. So you can also get the paid version and get more indicators, but you will get the moving averages up here, the RSI, the stochastics, and the, BBWP right here. And that will look good for you to get your trading journey kind of started. Okay, we were going to talk about one last thing on the 2-day time frame, and that is this, is that the 2-day Stokes crossed down. Volatility starting to wane here, and we'll have a drive of two drives of bearish divergence. If we do confirm this as a local high, and how would we do that? I think it's already confirmed personally. Close enough is close enough. And like I said, those downside moves, this looks like a bit of a trap, right? We took out this wick with a closing basis. But yeah, that higher low comes in somewhere around here, boom, and then we get a shot up to that green 55. I still think that is a possibility based on a couple of things. One is the 5-day Stokes are crossing up. That's our momentum indicator right here. And they will remain crossed up as long as we're above 19,209. 5-day closure just happened right there, rejecting the 9 exponential. Volatility is kind of waning here, so that. And we do have some hidden bullish divergence coming back from all the way back from this point. It's 1, 2, 3 drives. So typically that will give you that drive up to the $27,000 range, and then that is really, and I do think this can happen over the next couple of days, but or weeks maybe, yeah, it's really hard to tell at this point, but I do think ultimately if we do break down back into this range and we get below that descending triangle, let's get these squiggly lines off here. Let's clean up the chart just a tad. If we do break down back into this horizontal here, I am going to look for just probably a swing back to the bottom side of the range. You know, again, draw it out just like this. Okay, one more point for the bulls here, and the last thing I'll bring up here is the weekly stochastic, which will remain crossed up as long as we're above 20,400. Where's that coming in? Right here, right here. 20,400. So as long as we stay above there, sorry, 20,040 bucks. So about that region right there, which if we do a fib retracement, right? That's coming in right there at the 618. So as long as we stay above there, then I think that shot up to about 26, 29,000, something like that. And this will come down. We are coming down pretty hard here on every candle. Yeah, it's not coming down that hard, but that's another thing to take a look at. Let's take a look also at the CMEs. On the 4-hour time frame, since it did just close, I believe here, or we're closing in about 15 minutes. So that would be another higher low. And that would be 2 drives of bullish divergence, which probably continues up and onwards at least to the 21. If not, the breakdown level at 22,735. And if we start to see 4-hour closures on CME back above that 618, which is coming in at 23,000, that would look good for probably some continuation to the upside. Stokes are crossing up here. Volatility is waning. Yep, that's it for Bitcoin today. Hope that serves you well. Okay, let's take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum really popping it out hard. And that hurts. That is a stinger. What a day, what a day, what a day. So we did get a bounce off the green 55. And range resolution on Ethereum is going to be, I'd say, we get a 4-hour closure back above 1588. I'd be looking for 1800 to get hit. Any kind of a 4-hour closure below this low right here, and I would look for the top side of the range to get hit. Let's just do a fib retracement. And yeah, excuse me, a fib retracement hit somewhere around 1352, and that is any kind of a 4-hour closure below 1475. Momentum is down, volatility is down. We are getting, if this does confirm as a higher low in the next 3 hours, we will be having several drives of bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence, prices making higher lows, RSIs making lower lows, rejecting, getting into the bearish control zone should give us a shot. So yeah, any kind of a closure above 1541, I'm looking for a top side of the range to get hit at 1615. And that will be it on Ethereum. But overall, with the announcement tomorrow of more negative news regarding rate hikes, something like, hey, we're going to raise rates 100 basis points instead of 5 or 50. Excuse me, instead of 75, then, yep, I'm looking for some more downside. Only time will tell, and this is a bit of a reversal candle as we speak on the 1 hour. So let's see if we get a bounce here now. I'm going to leave you guys off with that. Hope you guys have a blessed and highly favored day. Take care.